sorry about that. I just had some issues. Okay.
So
Yes,
no
I
worries.
came in and I'm not quite certain. Were you able to look at my records?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you able to?
No, ma'am. We don't keep records of anything outside of tax returns.
Okay. And who's the supervisor?
I'm one of the supervisors, but I primarily supervise the Southern region.
It was a woman. It wasn't you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Who's the supervisor? The other supervisor?
Uh, Supervisor for the North District would be Letty.
Who?
Letty?
Okay. So for some reason, all the other customers were there having solo interactions with representatives. Okay. So I gave my story to one representative on how I felt like I was being targeted and defrauded out of my tax returns, and I had issues with my stimulus, and then I didn't know how to correct the issue. So she had me
Yeah.
talk to her and play games for an extended amount of time and appeared to be covering for my experiences. Okay. Then she said, when I said, ma'am, are you trying to sabotage my ability to get taxes? Then she got her supervisor. Okay. Her supervisor tried to hide me, and it was just really bizarre. So, nonetheless, the supervisor kept getting interrupted, so I could barely talk to the supervisor. It was really unprofessional and, kind of rude to me because all the other people were able to speak with their representatives and not have it interrupted personal conversations. She got interrupted like 15, 20 times. So she'd ask me a question and tell me to be quiet in my tech service. So nonetheless, we went through the process. I told her my devices were hacked, and she said that she could help me get into the ID me because she needed some kind of
Oh,
documents. She said she wasn't sure if the IRS would give me my return. I said, ma'am, if I'm due a return, why would you not be sure? She said, I don't know. They may not want to give it to you, and which was peculiar, but I get treated like this. If everyone in this
sure.
country that is due a tax return, why would she assume that the IRS would not want to give me a tax return that was due to me? Nonetheless, the ID me, she got all my personal information, the phone number, we took pictures of my ID, all my personal documentation, and then she said that I had to wait an hour for a video, some kind of video thing. And then
Sure.
it said, then she said, oh, it may be days. And I said, what? I said, this is a tax place. How am I going to sit here and wait days? She said, yeah, I know, after waiting 30 or 40 minutes. Then she
Right.
said that it was some kind of game to where I gave her my phone number. She said that they pull up the database of the numbers I use most frequently. It doesn't go by the number I gave her. It goes by the database of numbers that are used most frequently on the number and not the number that I gave her. I said, that doesn't make sense. She said, yes, they put in a database of the numbers that you use most frequently, and they want your old numbers being pulled up. I said, how? They just asked me for my number. How are they going to demand that I use the old number I no longer have? She said, well, that's what it is. So she had me wait 30 something minutes. It may have been a little bit over 40 something minutes. Then after waiting, she said, yeah, it may be days
Yeah.
to get into ID me.
Yeah. So I'm sorry about the experience that you had. ID.me is very, very tricky. Again, this is a government agency that we're using, and so sometimes things do take an unexpected amount of time whenever it comes to ID.me. Um, and so it is correct in which you do need, so whenever you sign up for an ID.me account, sometimes it has information from previous tax returns. So, for example, if it has your address
It
from
just seems
somewhere.
like the calls that I get in my environments, is just a waste of time. Everywhere I
Yeah,
go, they're covering for abuse and criminal activity. It's just fruitless.
right, right.
So I
I'm
just
sorry
find
about
it
that. And
highly
again,
peculiar that to report it repeatedly. At first, when this started, people used to be appalled, but everyone I come in contact with has an excuse to why people with misconduct. They normalize and okay misconduct. So I'm not quite
right,
certain
and
on
again,
why I witnessed other people having a text, getting their text prepared and one interrupted 15, 20 times and being
right,
disrespected and told to be quiet multiple different
and that's
times.
not right, and that's not fair to you. But um, what I want to let you know is Sometimes you're not able to get your refund if you're not able to validate your identity through ID.me.
Well,
And
the
sometimes
process,
you're able.
I think the representative was being dishonest. I think my environments are being prearranged. And I think she was being dishonest, and there wasn't the ID me wasn't really glitching. I've experienced this before. At another location, they said something was glitching, and then I started recording all these glitches because it was like they were scamming to keep me from services. Since it's a felony charge, you have to manipulate and scam avenues to keep someone from services. You just can't. You have to do it in different avenues to where you don't get caught. And I think that she was conning that we couldn't get in the ID me and played mind games, had me wait 30 or 40 minutes, and then said we can wait, but it may be days. And why would we both wait? Why would you even introduce a conversation that we can wait, but it could be days? Why
Yeah.
would how is it even possible for you to say we could wait, but it could be days? Are you going to be at work days? I felt that it was a
Right.
mind game and she was playing games with me. And then she'd take a picture and then was doing things that were, and I had to walk her through it, but she was supposed to be a supervisor. And I said she would take pictures and she'd say the picture's not there, ma'am. She'd say the picture was not there, ma'am. I said, because you're looking in the wrong place. You have to go. And she said, oh, okay, I have to keep that in mind. If you're a supervisor and you're doing ID me, it took us like 10, 15 minutes to do the ID because she was looking at the wrong place for the ID. I said it's not in that file. So it was like she was deliberately trying to sabotage my ability to get my taxes done. Not
That's
only her,
unfortunate.
but
No
an
one
army
should,
full of other locations.
right? No one should ever feel that way coming into the customer center,
I'm
especially
not
because
quite sure on, why I'm reporting misconduct and why she was probably influenced and why I'm just not repeatedly heard. So I think this will be fruitless. That's maybe
yeah,
why the police department was enforcing that my provider give me a criminal trespass and not let me report what's going on with my phone.
right.
My phone don't ring, and I call these places all the time, and nobody's returning my calls. And when they do, it's people antagonizing and covering for crimes.
Right. So I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. What I can do is I can give you the email to my boss, and you
It's
can tell her
fruitless.
a little
I've
bit.
done this years. It's just a mind game to go place to place to place for someone to be controlled and keep me in the problem. I don't think
So what
foresee
is
that
it
this
that
will
I can
stop
do
until
for you
people get
today?
charges. You
Right.
call
So
me.
what is it that I can do for you today, Miss Clark?
I don't know. You call me. I don't know. I mean, if you're not disturbed by what happened, it's pointless. If
No,
you
I
have
mean I am.
excuses for my experience,
What I can find here is to help you through your ID.me account if you still need assistance. But again, I'm very
I'm
sorry for the
already in the
errors that you
account.
had to do.
But I came and it was not easy to get my taxes done. And she was both
Right.
representatives, multiple representatives were scamming to where I couldn't get my taxes done and being dishonest.
Right.
But this isn't the first location that's done it.
Ms. Clark, do you have an email address that I can email you the information to my boss to?
I'm not quite certain of the relevancy of that. I came in to get my taxes done and they weren't done. I was being denied assistance in schemes.
Okay. Okay.
So how do we? The representative said that to try to get a hold of her over the phone. I said I'd like to email
Yeah.
you the information. She said no, you can't email me. I said well my phone's hacked. I'd like to email it so I make sure she would not give me her email information. That was another red flag.
Right.
People deny me services all the time. I'm just trying to prove it.
Right. Again, if you're not comfortable going to our North Prosper Center, I work out of our South Prosper Center, and I'd be welcome to working with you. Just make sure that you
Why would I call the North Prosper Center? This is the North Prosper Center or the South?
ma'am, I'm just calling from the entire program
I'm
itself,
just
and
at
I'm just giving you
I
another
don't not
option.
quite certain. It's like these are prank calls. I was trying to have a peaceful day, and I had two calls at the same time. That was bizarre, and I don't get my calls. So once again,
Again,
are you trying to withhold what center you're at?
I just let you you know that I work out of the Prosper South Center, and you're welcome to work with me.
Okay,
You're welcome to
so
work
if I call
to
the
working
North
with me.
Center, how is it that the South Center called?
So, ma'am, again, we have one direct line for all of our tax centers. I'm just calling out of the tax center. Right? I'm not withholding any information. I'm letting you know if you're not comfortable working with someone at our Prosper North Center, you're welcome to work in the
I
next
just was
line.
denied assistance. You know, it just isn't enough people that care. I'm repeatedly denied assistance. It's fruitless. Okay.
I'm
I
sorry that
came
you
in,
feel again,
got
you're
the
welcome to work
bus,
in
and
that.
you know I've had my taxes done probably
So,
10 times, maybe 15, if you include the tax returns to get nowhere. Riding the bus online, all kind of different avenues, paying to get my taxes done on sites that were supposed to be free. So I called the police. Went to a free site that I normally use. Then all of a sudden they wanted to charge me. And then after they charged me, it glitched and went off the screen at a hotel using their computer. So I called the police, and the police department covered for it. So all these that someone is deliberately having locations being cahoots to keep me from tax returns and my stimulus. I just have to prove it. Okay, sir.
well, again, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but you're welcome to go to any of our Prosper centers. And again, I'm sorry that
I've
you had that
already been
experience,
there,
but
was
I'm willing to
denied
help out.
assistance. I don't think it, I mean, all the places I went to get my tax returns done, it was fruitless. And you've heard the attempts that I
Okay.
made. Okay.
Thanks for all this information, but I wanted to thank you for giving us a call.
Okay.
All right. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. So this device is glitching. It muted on its own, and I can't take it off mute. So I can't record calls. So I have to use another device.